This is an extraordinary meeting that is going to bring as a media partner the National Geographic Society and all of the different attributes the National Geographic Society has. It is going to be a week of film, exhibits, culture, programs, speakers. It just is not going to stop. A lot of it is going to take place in the Uffizi. It's going to be something that has never been done in the world, to my knowledge. And it's going to be done here in Florence for the first time. And I think if the Medicis were looking at us, they would feel very good about what is happening in Florence. It's been my privilege to try to put together some speakers to give you background on what's going to take place. One of them is a woman named Maria Bartiromo. Some of you know Maria. She is probably the ~1 journalist, business journalist in the world today. She is covering Wall Street 24/7. She wanted to be here very much. She couldn't be here, so at the last minute, she made a videotape, and I'm going to ask Courtney to push 2 buttons, and at that point, the videotape will play. So Courtney, would you push the buttons?
Hi, everyone. Ciao. Thank you for this opportunity to offer my heartfelt congratulations and support of Florens 2010, International Week of Cultural Heritage and Landscape. As a commentator on international business issues, as well as a person committed to all things cultural, particularly the Italian culture, I cannot think of a better location to explore how these two relate to each other. Yes, Florence is not only the home of the David and the Pitti Palace gardens, but also where double-entry bookkeeping was invented. Florence has always understood the value of providing something for everyone. To the European House Ambrosetti, may I say well done for putting together what will be a landmark event of celebrations and dialogue. This could not come at a better time. I wish you all the very best. Tanti auguri.
Maria Bartiromo is quite an extraordinary person. We know her well. You know her well from television, of course. She's cleared her calendar to be part of the event in November, and my guess is that she'll bring CNBC to the event, and so CNBC will be reporting globally from the event. This is truly a global experience. There are media from around the world that are getting attention to it. This is going to be something that is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. I'd like now to introduce a colleague, Miss Anne Radice. Anne Radice is well known for running the Institute for Museum and Library Services for the federal government. She did this under the Bush administration. She did this as well as under the Obama administration. What that means is that there are roughly 1 million people in the United States who reported to Ms. Radice. Those 1 million people were in charge of every museum in the United States that the federal government had its hands on. In charge of every zoo, in charge of every aquarium, in charge of virtually every cultural position in the United States. So Ms. Radice brings to the next moments we're going to have here extraordinary bona fides. She brings one other element that I think is quite special to Florence, and that is in 1966, as a tiny young woman, very young woman, we're all young in 1966, Mr. Radice became known as a mud angel because when the Po River overflowed its banks, and as you know, on the walls of Florence, you can still see where the marks are where it overflowed its banks. Ms. Radice went into the mud and rescued some of the great treasures of Florence and took them to safety. So she has that to also recommend her. So Anne, if you'd be willing to introduce our next speaker, I'd be very grateful.